Imagine you're 85 years old. You're sitting on your front porch and you have one chance to look back on your life. What is one thing that you hope you don't have to say? For me, it's I wonder what would have happened if I just tried. I don't think most people fail. I think most people never begin. Today's episode is about escaping that trap, not about escaping your job, not about escaping money, but it's about escaping the trap of believing that your life has already been decided. The biggest prisons have no walls. If you think about what Helen Keller said, the quote, the only thing being worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. So the biggest prison isn't the physical one, but it's the one mentally in your brain. A lot of people are trapped without even realizing they are trapped. They feel like they're doing well. They feel like they're doing good enough, you know? They believe that, I just live an average life and that's what an average life is. Not realizing what is outside of that, and they feel like they've already missed their bus. They're too late and their life is what it is, and they're accepting of that because they're too scared to fail. They have that fear of failure. They think what's the worst possible thing that could happen instead of thinking what if. It's not thinking what if and then doing nothing, it's what if and taking action. You need to stop believing that this is just my life and I've missed my only chance. That's never true. Who convince you that your life has limits? If you don't live life without taking action, you're just existing. You're not living life to its fullest. Everyone trades their dreams for security. Maybe you're in that retail job and you know what, it pays good enough. It pays your bills, you can rent, you're surviving. You don't have that comfort of being able to live without a source of income because you're forcing to have all these payments, all these responsibilities. So you're happy to make that trade. Make that trade of living a secure, average life. Then be able to strive and go for your dreams. Imagine two people. One person spent 20 years on building the life that they dreamed of, while the second person is just too scared of failure. From the outside, they might look exactly the same. Inside, one feels alive, the other feels what could have been. The ship in the harbor is safe, but it's not what ships are built for. What we're built for is to be going on and living the life we aspire and dream to have. Because comfort isn't the goal that we should be aiming for, but growth is. If you feel trapped in the situation you are right in, maybe it's the job you're doing, maybe it's the time you're spending on your phone, you feel trapped on social media, maybe it's something else in life. I wanted to make you aware that you weren't born to be trapped. You were not born to be average. It was your daily habits that put you onto this path. Just because you're here right now doesn't mean you have to stay. You can also change, and that's what by the end of the podcast, I want you to be able to change. This is the Upgrade Podcast. I'm Blake, your host, and this is episode 5. Escaping the trap. Do one thing every single day that scares you, because courage is a thing that lasts only 5 seconds. As an example, with me starting this podcast, it's something that is uncomfortable for me, talking in front of cameras, right? It's an awkward thing, and me being an awkward communicator, this has gotten easier over time, but this was my biggest nightmare when I started. Even little things for me like sending an email, a message, now I'm starting to send people messages on voice notes because that used to scare me. Even just talking to people on the phone. For example, the other day, I was nervous before even calling up a fish and chip shop to put in an order, right? But being able to do these things and realize even if you mess up, what's the worst that even happens? For some people, that courage can be walking into a gym. It's applying for jobs. It's complimenting someone. It's going for a run on the road instead of running in a park. Not on the road, on the footpath, obviously, but the courage you need to do that action only takes seconds, but the reward from that action can last you decades. What's one uncomfortable action that you have been avoiding today, maybe this week, this month, or this year that you haven't even gotten around to doing because it's uncomfortable? Because if you live in that comfortable zone, you're going to have no growth. A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Comfort feels like it's free, but it isn't. Even though, sure, you might be watching Netflix, you might be watching TikTok, you're doing something that's wasting your time, but you're comfortable. That's not free. That you're messing with your potential experiences, stories, confidence, things that you can be doing that you wish you could, but you never started because you're stuck in that comfort zone. What is your comfort zone costing you? You don't need permission to start. No one is coming for you. No one is choosing you. Nobody gave successful YouTubers, successful entrepreneurs, authors, they never gave them permission to start that business, YouTube channel, start writing a book. They just started. They had that courage. They had that growth. They got out of that comfort zone and dived in to releasing the fear of failure, accepting that, sure, this might fail, but maybe if I fail 100 times, I might win. Imagine if someone told you that you only had to fail 12 businesses, and on that 13th one, it was going to be your $1 million business. You'd be so keen to fail the 12 businesses. You'd be so keen to do as much as you can and fail and keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And then you got that jackpot. The thing is, we don't know when that success comes. The only thing we know is uncertainty. I've written a book called 4 Weeks to Total Sleep Mastery. I failed English 2 years before this. I never written a book before. I've never written an article. I've only read a couple of books, and even reading at that point was a struggle for me. No one told me to write a book, but I just did it anyway. No one told me to do my first podcast, even though I'm a terrible communicator. I'm not a great speaker in social situations. If it's more than 2 people, I'll just listen. I won't be the one talking. I started, even though I feel unqualified to do so. No one told me I can't do it, so I'll do it anyway. The best way to predict the future is to create it, because your life is built after 5 p.m. As an example, for the people who work a 9 to 5, your life is built after that 5 p.m. once you get home. What are you doing? Are you sitting on your phone because you've had a hard day of work? Are you going onto the TV to watch the news? Are you going to scroll on your phone while you make dinner? This is where you could be spending time learning, creating, filming, writing, training yourself. Sure, it might suck after the fact that you've done a hard day at work, but if you want to be stuck there, then that's all you need to do. If you want to build something greater and something outside of that, you got to work outside of that 9 to 5. Think about what you're doing between 6 and 9. Maybe even through that time, you might have an hour and a half of free time. By the end of the year, that's what, 500, 400 hours. You can master multiple skills in that time. And then be able to, as an example, just teach people those skills, coach people. You can make some extra money. You can make money on doing a passion. Maybe you can do editing in that time, filming. You don't need to be producing at the same level of people that do this for a living because they have that 9 to 5 period on top of you. But if you just start creating consistently over time or doing whatever, you'll eventually get to that stage. But doing nothing isn't going to get you anywhere. Because my favorite quote, just do the obvious thing for an extraordinary amount of time and you will have it. You only need to spend that 2 hours a day if that's all you have. Do the obvious thing for 2 to 3 years. Sure, that sounds like a long time, but it will arrive in no time. In those 2 to 3 years, if you're not doing that, you might look back at that time and regret not starting. So why aren't you starting today? Even though we have this fear of failure, I feel like the fear of regretment is so much higher, but the fact that you're not having that regretment now and it's between failure right now and regretment in the future, you push failure to the side and accept it. You accept that, sure, I'll just regret it in the future, but that regret will be so much higher than the failure that you have to feel, the uncomfort you have to feel for a couple minutes. It is not the things we do in life that we regret the most on our deathbed. It's the things that we don't do. Because as we said, failure might hurt today, but regret will hurt forever. So which pain would you rather carry? The pain of failure or the pain of regretment? Because at worst case, if you fail, and never get that breakthrough somehow, at least you die knowing you gave it everything you had. That environment around you is so important, especially the people you are friends with. I believe that your friends heavily dictate who you become in the future. Almost like if you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Almost what the people you should be surrounding yourself with is their bare minimum is your dream. And you're pretty much guaranteed to achieve your dream. If the people you surround yourself with, they're where you are or below around that kind of area, that's why you're in that area. You know, I'm not saying ditch those friends. You can still stay friends with them, but maybe you need to look at things a bit differently, especially if you want something. You should never be the smartest person in your friend group, the most successful person in the friend group, the person who's doing the best. If your 5 closest, like, friend influence kind of group stay the same for the next 10 years, who do you become? The same? And the most important thing is you got to stop waiting to feel ready, because you'll never feel ready. If you want the honest truth, if you want to feel ready, that feeling ready is just doing the action. You might be on your bed, you're relaxing somewhere, or you're whatever right now, and you want to do something. Let's film a video. We'll just use that as an example. You can twist this to whatever scenario you want it to be. For an example, filming a video. The motivation to feel ready when you're ready to have that energy and film a video, right? You don't just get that. That readiness you feel is getting out the bed, getting off the couch, and just putting the camera down and talking. That's what feeling ready is. It's just doing it anyway. Because like I said, you'll never feel ready. Confidence follows action. How you feel is going to follow whatever action you're doing. No wonder you don't feel motivated right now. No wonder you've wasted the last couple of hours, because look at the state you're in right now. Nobody starts feeling qualified, because if you're waiting to feel qualified to do this action, then you'll never be there. Action is the foundation key to all success. Build a life you don't need to escape from. Close your eyes. Imagine waking up excited, not because you're on holiday, because it's a Tuesday. That's success. Not a private jet, not millions. Building a life where ordinary days feel meaningful. You can open your eyes back up. I hope you didn't close it if you're driving or flying a plane. What would your ideal Tuesday look like? Now, what's stopping you from taking that next step towards it this week? In 20 years, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than the things that you did do. Welcome to the Upgrade 5. This is going to be 5 questions that my audience has sent me from the comments section of being a paid subscriber on Substack that they've written on the latest paid article. If money wasn't a factor, how would you spend your life? That's a great question. I would 100% just be doing more of what I'm doing. I'd be doing more of the podcasting. I'd be writing more books, 100%. I love writing books and be able to, when I publish mine and just seeing it in person, reading it, it's just such a great feeling. But I'd be doing more of this, scaling it more, and doing probably more. And I'd love to, even though money wouldn't be the factor, just helping people and coaching people. Money was never a thing for me, and that it's more, I would love to help as many people as I can be the best versions of themselves. What's one decision you've been avoiding that you know would move your life forward? I don't know, maybe it's not really a decision. I think I just need to be doing more of what I'm doing and spending more time on this. Do you think people regret the risk they took or the ones that they never did? Well, I feel like that's obvious from what we're talking about today. 100% the risks that they never take is always going to be way more powerful than the ones they did. Because I almost feel like failing is a good thing, because you realize by failing that it's not that deep. The worst case just happened, And you can feel that 100 more times. It gets less of a feeling as well the more often you do it. So I feel like it's almost a good thing to chase failure at the start. Obviously, you want to learn as much as you can and create the best you can and be the best, but worrying about failing should be non-existent, right? But obviously it is. Everyone doesn't want to fail, but I feel like failing gets looked at the wrong way. If you meet your 10-year-old self today, would they be excited about the person you've become? Honestly, probably disappointed at the fact I'm not a professional athlete, but except for that, I think he would be happy. What's the one thing you're pretending you'll do one day that could actually begin this week? I don't know. Probably the biggest thing I'd be delaying is I want to start like another program for coaching. I'm still figuring that out, but I guess getting more onto that this week would be smart. I keep delaying it day by day. I wanted to end this podcast on one final thing that I've written that I think ties nicely to how we started this podcast. When you're 85, I don't think you'll care how many followers you had, what phone you owned, or how many emails you answered. I think you'll care whether you had the courage to become the person you knew you could be. Thank you so much for dropping into this podcast. I feel like this was a bit of a shorter one for sure. I might have to double check, but this felt like a quick one, but I enjoyed this one a lot. And I think for people that feel they're trapped in life, this could be a really powerful thing if you can get out of that trap, especially because I believe that most people don't even know they're trapped when they are. Thank you so much. Drop a follow on the YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack, and be your best self.